So as you can read from the transcript of Bethel versus Frazier, plus the little reading of the case summary that you looked at, the case was a situation in which a student got in front of the entire school during an assembly and basically threw out a sexual innuendo-filled speech at the entire student body. He was suspended by the school. He was removed from the list of potential graduation speakers. And in reaction, Matthew Frazier and his family sued the school, claiming that his right to free speech had been violated. And they quoted the Tinker precedent, which wasn't necessarily on point as much because that was more about symbolic speech. But the issue boiled down to this: is sexually suggestive expression in school protected by the First Amendment? And, so this became kind of a question of, are we going to reduce the rights? Do you kind of give up some of your rights whenever you enter school property? And, the fact is that you do. You're going to see in this decision, first of all, that public schools are permitted to punish students for lewd or indecent expression if it hinders the basic values and goals of public education. So therefore, that's why you're not allowed to stand up in the middle of class and swear, or throw some sexual derogatory terms into a paper that you write for English class. And, it basically is true that schools, if they feel you're being lewd or indecent, they can suspend you, they can censor you, and it's because schools are considered in the eyes of law a special place, quote unquote. And I'm not using that term lightheartedly. It's an actual legal term that says, hey, your rights are more restricted in this place. Schools are like this. The workplace is like this. Borders, airports. You're going to see that your rights can be restricted more in these places. And so Bethel versus Frazier basically allows schools to kind of limit your free speech right. If that speech had been made in the middle of a courthouse square during a public rally, all bets are off. Chances are there's nothing that could have happened to Matthew Frazier. But because it was made in school, it could be punished. And that kind of brings us to the idea of free speech in schools in general. If it's potentially disruptive to the learning process and has no educational or political value, then free speech can be hindered. And that could even go as far, and we look at technology, okay, and we have Facebook, and we have Twitter, and we have Instagram, and all the other, and text, and all the other social media that is available to people. And let's look at cyberbullying. The fact is that schools can punish students for things that they do outside of school using social media in, let's say, a cyberbullying situation, if it leads to that student not wanting to come to school. If they can show a connection between the expression on the social media and the fact that it leads to this student not wanting to come to school, that's a disruption to the learning process. And, though it might not be a black and white case, schools can potentially then punish the student or censor the expression. And so we're going to take a look at a case, Morse versus Frederick, and you're actually going to be introduced to this case by a short video clip of a news report before the case had been decided. And so as you watch the video, you'll kind of get a feel for it without knowing the outcome of the case. But Morse versus Frederick was a situation in which a school field trip provided a student an opportunity for expression that he was later punished for. The school in Alaska took all their students to a parade downtown in which the Olympic torch was coming through their town. And I'm going to let you watch the video and take a look at what this student did and the expression and what form it took. And then we'll talk about the not only the facts of the case, but also the issue and the result and what it means for you as a student in a school.